It was already an amazing coin to find, but the more I learned about it, the more interesting it became. At first, I could tell it was Roman, a portrait on one side and a heavy worn image on the other. But after almost 1,800 years in the ground, enough survived to identify it. And what looked like a simple Roman bronze turned out to tell a much bigger story. The story of an emperor, two Roman legions, and the province of Dacia. Let's start with the man on the front, Trebonianus Gallus, a Roman emperor who ruled from 251 to 253 AD, just 2 years. In 251, Emperor Decius and his son were killed fighting the Goths. The army then proclaimed Trebonianus Gallus emperor. He inherited an empire facing invasions, political instability, and a devastating epidemic. Another Roman commander entered the story, Aemilianus. His troops proclaimed him emperor. Gallus marched to confront him, but never got the chance. In 253, Trebonianus Gallus and his son Volusianus were killed by their own soldiers. The face on this coin belonged to an emperor whose reign lasted barely 2 years. But strangely enough, the emperor isn't my favorite part of this coin. On the other side, I find something much closer to home. Around the edge, we can still make out the words Provincia Dacia, the Roman province of Dacia. Before the Roman conquest, this region has been the heart of the Dacian kingdom. Sarmisegetusa Regia was its capital. The political, military, and religious center of the kingdom was ruled by Decebalus. Rome conquered Dacia in 106 and created a new Roman province. The Romans established a new capital, Colonia Ulpia Traiana Augusta Dacia Sarmisegetusa. Ulpia Traiana became the political and administrative center of Roman Dacia. It was established shortly after the conquest, and its first population included veterans of the Dacian Wars. And around 140 years later, at the center of the reverse is Dacia herself. Not a real woman, but a personification of the province. And she isn't alone. Look closely at what appears on her side. On one side is the eagle holding a wreath. It represents Legio V Macedonica, a legion with a long history that had fought in the Dacian Wars and later became permanently stationed at Putesa. And on the other side, a lion, the emblem of Legio XIII Gemina. This was one of Julius Caesar's old legions. It fought in the Gallic Wars, and it was the 13th legion that famously crossed the Rubicon with Caesar in 49 BC. More than a century and a half later, 13 Gemina participated in the Dacian Wars and became stationed at Apulum, modern-day Alba Iulia. Put everything together, and suddenly this worn reverse becomes much easier to understand. Dacia in the center, Legio V Macedonica on one side, Legio XIII Gemina on the other. The province and the military forces that help defend it. And this raises another question. Why did Dacia have its own provincial bronze coinage? The Provincia Dacia series began in the middle of the 3rd century when the frontier province had an enormous military importance. One likely function of this local bronze coinage was to help supply the monetary needs of the province, including its substantial military population. So these coins may have circulated among the very soldiers whose legions were representing on them. There's one final detail, An 5 or An 6, year 5 or year 6. It doesn't mean the 5th or the 6th year of Gallus' reign. That would be impossible. Gallus ruled only for about 2 years. It refers instead to the local dating system used by Provincia Dacia coinage. And this is why I love researching these finds. When this came out of the ground, I already knew I'd found a beautiful Roman coin. I just didn't know how much history was still hiding on it. An emperor who ruled for barely 2 years, a province, two legendary Roman legions, Salmisegetusa, Apulum, Potaissa, an almost 18th century of history, on something small enough to hold between two fingers. A beautiful find that turned out to be even more interesting than I expected.